Hello, my friends, and let's talk about Animal Farm by George Orwell, also known as Eric Blair. Only reason I bring that up is because you'll see the introduction here is by Richard Blair, his adopted son. So, Animal Farm by George Orwell is very much a story about communism. It is what it is. It's very much inspired by the communist revolution over in Russia, which became the Soviet Union and is now back to Russia. And it was published in 1945 amongst some scrutiny, and it's still received a lot of scrutiny ever since. It winds up on a lot of banned books. It becomes school reading for some, banned books for others. It's one hell of a journey. But the reason I want to talk to you about it is because I just finished this advanced reading copy of Animal Farm, A Fairy Story by Suntup Editions. Thank you very much to Paul and the Suntup team for this beautiful arc. We're going to talk about it in a second. So, Animal Farm is a story that I read back in high school and absolutely fell in love with. And the edition that I've always had is this one, a Folio Society edition, which it's now out of print, but you can find it for very cheap. It's illustrated by Quentin Blake from the Roald Dahl fame, and it features a lot of his little ink illustrations throughout, little sketches, like there's Old Major. The story of Animal Farm, it takes place over on a farm where the animals kick out Mr. Jones. So Mr. Jones, the drunk farmer, is basically run off the farm by the animals, led by the pigs, who take over, and they want to create a utopia for animals. 2 legs bad, 4 legs good, that sort of a deal. And things kind of like the communist revolution. And unfortunately, things start to go a little awry when the pigs start giving themselves favors. They're the only ones that can read or read well. The 2 pigs in particular that kind of run everything are Napoleon and Snowball. Snowball is run off of the farm at the insistence of Napoleon and his dog army, and Napoleon kind of becomes a dictator. And things kind of progress from there. There's a windmill that they're continuously trying to break. Truths, the lines between fact and fiction are blurred. So Snowball, who was once a hero, is kind of repainted as a villain. And, the 7 commandments that the animals used to live by are kind of tweaked to favor whatever Napoleon's feeling. And it's a very short read. I mean, the edition here from Folio Society is about 100 pages long. Yep, there's one of the new commandments. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Whereas the original law was all animals are equal. And then pretty soon, you can't tell the difference between the pigs and the humans when the pigs start walking on 2 legs and start wearing humans' clothes. But anyways, that's an old edition. This was actually... This edition by Folio Society was originally published in 1984, which is very fitting because of George Orwell, who also wrote 1984. And a lot of the themes you see in Animal Farm are then continued on into 1984. And very much like 1984, Animal Farm is getting the Suntup treatment. So 2 years back, 1984 was released by Suntup Editions. It had a foreword by Joe Hill. It was a masterpiece. I believe I unboxed it on my channel here. Please check that out. But now, Animal Farm is getting the Suntup edition, and it is beautifully illustrated by Omar Rayyan. And I loved that Folio edition, but holy crap, is this edition kind of the essential Animal Farm? Now, unfortunately, the Suntup edition is completely sold out. It's being published in an artist edition, which is printed letterpress, which is just astounding. A numbered edition that looks absolutely stellar, and a letter edition, which is way outside of my budget. But all 3 are sold out, so you're going to have to find this in the secondary market or keep an eye on Suntup Editions, and they sometimes release more copies as they might get some cancellations. So, whereas the Folio Society was the bare bones story itself, little black and white Quentin Blake illustrations, the Suntup edition is packed to the brim with extras. And I'm not kidding on that. So let's look at the table of contents here. First of all, they bring back a fairy story, which was dropped from a lot of publications. There's an image right there of Old Major, kind of telling the farm that they could rise up. So here we go, the contents. You have an introduction, which is from Richard Blair, the adopted son of George Orwell, a.k.a. Eric Blair. A note on the text, the story itself, which is about 125 pages, and then the appendices, which is another 20, 30 pages in the back. So that's that's 50 pages of extra material in a 100-page book. That's a little over 100 pages in this edition. That's almost 30% of this novel is extra material, which is just superb. And holy crap, when I say that both the introduction and the appendices are phenomenal. So the introduction by Richard Blair is not really so much on Animal Farm as it is on his father, George Orwell. And it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story about a son reminiscing about his father. Of course, we have the note on the text itself, which is very informative on what was done to the story, what was kept intact. And then we have Mr. Jones of Manor Farm, and you jump right into the book itself, which Omar Rayyan's gorgeous illustrations are superb. Omar Rayyan has done many illustrations over the days, especially for some small presses. He did some Folio Society work, and he has done magic with Animal Farm here. He has a surrealistic nature that sort of bends these fantasy images of these talking animals or animals dealing with stuff, dealing with life. And he bends it to the text. Oh, there's poor Boxer working himself away. And it's, holy crap, like if I could get an art portfolio of these images, I would. Which makes you really jealous of the lettered people, the lettered edition owners who are getting an art portfolio of these. Those jerks, because these are incredible. Oh my God. Like, what I wouldn't give to have an art portfolio of these. It almost reminds me of kind of Charles Vess's artwork. And I've been kind of stalking Omar Rayyan's online portfolio. He does prints of these kind of realistic mixed with fantasy elements. One of his prints that he does is called The Last Diner at Mordor, and you're thinking like dragons and Lord of the Rings and Mordor, and it's like a 50s diner like on the ridge of Mordor. It's just incredible. Anyways, there's I'm rambling. There is Napoleon walking on two legs. Anyways, finally we get to the appendices themselves. So the story is the classic story you know and love. The first one is Orwell's proposed preface to Animal Farm, which is very much a story of the text itself. So his son, Richard Blair, gives you a story of the author. Now Orwell himself gives you a story about the novel. And then there's the preface for the Ukrainian edition, which gives you a story about the struggles that this novel had coming to fruition, getting published. He had the novel written, or had the idea down for years, and had difficulty finding a publisher. And then finally, you have an image of George Orwell feeding Muriel, which there's a character in the book, a goat named Muriel as well, his pet goat. Nice little fitting end, which would then be followed by a signature page if it was the artist edition, or the numbered edition, or the lettered edition, any edition, really. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that Animal Farm, A Fairy Story by Suntup Editions, is an absolute masterpiece. I love Animal Farm. I've loved it since I read it in high school, and I have gotten much love out of my Folio Society edition, which is very nice. It's still very nice. But holy crap, if Paul Suntup didn't just come in here and knock it right out of the park. I need to check out what this physical edition is going to be in my hands. I want to feel the letterpress type on my hand, like on the paper. So thank you guys very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Paul, Becca, Simon, and the group for this advanced reader's copy. It is phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what the finished product looks like. So if you, the viewer, haven't already ordered a copy, try to find a copy. Like I said, it's not released yet. This is an advanced copy. The numbered edition and the artist edition, everything's sold out. The artist edition will be the cheapest one to find, unfortunately, based on the state of the economy, the state of book collecting. You probably won't have too much difficulty finding a copy, but it still might be a little bit pricier. But if you can, get yourself a copy of Suntup's Animal Farm, and you will not be disappointed. Thank you again to the Suntup team for the ARC. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you around next time.